Hi everyone, this is Antoine, and today I'm really excited to have a guest on this video. We have Rodrigo Reboucas that will talk about vibe coding and how vibe coding helped him just accelerate how he's able to put together an idea and then turn it into a project. So without further ado, let me turn it on to Rodrigo. Rodrigo, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about this alligator situation you have going on in the backyard?
Sounds good. Thanks, Antoine. Hey, everyone. My name is Rodrigo Reboucas. I'm a forward deployed engineer at Salesforce. And the alligator problem that Antoine just mentioned is really, I live in South Florida, and sometimes there are alligators on my backyard. And I'm trying to vibe code an application that will let me know when there is one, so we're not caught by surprise. So that's really my side vibe coding project. But I'm happy to share everything that I'm excited about vibe coding, which is, I guess, the main topic of today's call.
Thank you so much, Rodrigo. And yeah, I'm hoping that at some point your alligator app will have some Salesforce built in, so that will definitely be a follow-up video. But in the meantime, why don't you walk us through what's the use case behind the Salesforce application that you've built? And walk us through what kind of user would use it, what kind of company would use it. I'd love to hear more about it.
Sounds good. Yes. So what I've built that I would like to share with you guys today is an application with best practices on how to integrate an external API with an Agentforce agent. So what I created was following the human resources use case. So I built an external API that has human resources data, and I built an HR agent on Agentforce that can integrate with that API.
So is it fair to say that it would be like the end user, so for which the partner would build this application, would be a company that either uses this HR system and want to also leverage its capability in Agentforce, or just is not one of this HR company customer and just get the opportunity to discover this new technology by being an Agentforce customer?
Yeah, I guess it could be both. So most likely, if the customer already uses the HR system, they would already have data on that HR system and available through the API to integrate with Agentforce. But also, if they are not customers of the external HR system, the partner in this case, the owner of the HR system and the API could have some sample data to allow users to experiment how they could benefit from integrating with this HR system and hopefully become customers of the external app as well.
Great. So two opportunities there. Now, tell me, for this particular app, did you pick what technologies within the Salesforce portfolio did you pick?
Yeah, so the main technology is to leverage Agentforce, right? The Agentforce platform to create the HR agent, right? And I had to build, we'll share the GitHub repo after the call today with you guys, but I had to build a couple of components inside my agent, inside Agentforce. So a couple of agent topics and a couple of agent actions, right? And then I actually had to build the API itself, right? So I used MuleSoft to create a REST API with different endpoints. And I also created a Postgres database that I hosted on Heroku, which is the data source for this API. And also, I needed my API to allow users authentication via OAuth, which is a best practice for integrating with Salesforce platform. So I created a web application as well, also hosted on Heroku with Node.js to allow users to register and authenticate via OAuth with to my API.
Awesome. So really flowing best practices. Now, did you had some of those technologies that you were completely new to?
Yes, I did. Actually, I had never built a MuleSoft API before. So, and I had never built a Node.js app before, and neither a Postgres database. So the three technologies that are not the main Salesforce, Agentforce, or Salesforce org technologies, but that are components of my integration, I didn't have any experience on building those.
So, what was the onboarding experience to get on those tech that you were discovering for the very first time?
Because I didn't have any experience, I turned into vibe coding, right? Vibe coding's help, and I'll tell you, for me as a former developer, vibe coding is really revolutionary because it lets you create apps on technologies that you have zero experience just by providing instructions and guiding these powerful new coding agents on what you're trying to build.
So you had the choice between plenty of different coding agents to work with you on this project. I believe that you chose Claude Code. Can you tell us a bit more about working with Claude Code? What is your feedback, and also tell us a bit more about how were you able to help Claude Code be more proficient on working with your stack, so working with Salesforce.
Yes. So I tried different coding agents. Some of them are better than others, right? OpenAI just launched Codex GPT-5 pretty recently as well. But from all the coding agents that I've tested, Claude Code seems to be the most complete in terms of knowledge of the latest best practices on how to build different types of apps, and also the possibility to integrate with external MCP servers and CLIs that runs on your file system. So I ended up choosing Claude Code because Claude Code is one of the few agents that can interact with any CLI that a developer has installed on their file system. And so I was able to integrate with the Salesforce CLI, with the Heroku CLI, and the MuleSoft CLI. And that made the process of creating these different apps on different technologies much easier, right? Because I could simply create my prompts, tell Cloud Code what it should do, and Cloud Code would know that the CLIs were already installed in the system, so it was able to create a design file for my API with the different endpoints that I had in mind, which I just could paste it inside MuleSoft. The same thing for the actual Mule application, right, which is the REST API. And the same thing for Heroku. And it was able to deploy those applications automatically using the different CLIs. So it was really a breeze, vibing with Cloud Code to create this integration app.
So here I have a question comes to mind as we chat about vibe coding. You hear a lot of chatter, all over X, like around, like, I one-shotted this app. Like in this case, was it a one-shot experience, or did you had like a workflow to get to the end result? Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. Yeah. So some technologies actually allow the one-shot approach with coding agents, and some don't, right? So to build, for example, the web application and host it in Heroku, right? So that could be done with one shot because it's a matter of creating the coding agent creating the files, packaging the file, and deploying to Heroku in this case. But there are some technologies that require some manual steps. But even with these types of technologies, these vibe coding agents can be really helpful as well, because like I mentioned, to create my MuleSoft API, right, I need to create a design file first. There's no way to do everything with one shot, but the coding agent was able, Cloud Code in this case, was able to create the design file and tell me what to do. So now go inside this app on this specific configuration page and paste this and come back here and hit resume, right? So they're really powerful. I wish everything could be done with one shot, but there are some technologies that still require, some manual intervention.
Yeah, that makes sense. And even in those cases, right, like the coding agent had some guidelines on, walking you through where to click and what to do. Awesome. Well, Rodrigo, we have Dreamforce coming up in a couple of weeks now. For someone who wanted to get an opportunity to chat with you, what are the best places and what are the sessions that they should be attending to have a chance to meet you in person?
Actually, Antoine, you and I are presenting a session on Thursday on Dreamforce at 10:30 a.m. Pacific on the partner lounge, right? A Marriott Marquis, called Supercharge Agentic Apps Integrating Slack, Heroku, and more. So I would highly recommend, if you guys are coming to Dreamforce, to attend this session if possible, as we're gonna be doing a dive deep onto how we build this app and showing you some cool demos and best practices for vibe coding this app during that session as well.
Rodrigo, thank you so much. This was a new format, so I would really hope to get a subscribe and a like if this is something that you think is interesting, and if you have some feedback on things that we should tweak to make it even more enjoyable to consume and watch and listen, please drop a comment, send us a message, and the sample application that Rodrigo mentioned will have another dedicated video that will show you a demo of the user experience and how what path and what workflow Rodrigo followed to build it. And the code will be available in a GitHub repository for you to fork and start playing with as a sample application and understand some best practices. All right, see you on the next video.